in this video, let's take calculated fields further. Okay, let me create another calculated field. I'll click on this drop down, create another calculated field. And before I start naming it and before I start creating the calculated field, let's focus on the small icon over here. It's extremely important, right? Now, once you click on this icon, what opens up towards your right of the screen is nothing but a list of all the functions which is there, which is inbuilt there in Tableau, and which can be used to create calculated fields. For example, if you look at it's not only just the list of function, it's the list of the functions and the explanation of those functions as well. How cool is that? So it's almost astonishing that how much of effort few people put in creating some great tools. Okay, so Tableau is one of it. Now ABS, if you look at it, it not only defines it, returns the absolute value of a given number, it also gives you an example over here. ACOS, you can see ACOS -1 is this thing. I have no idea what ACOS is, but it returns the arc cosine, right? It is arc cosine of a certain number. Now, some of the functions over here will be very, very, I should say specific in the requirement. For example, ACOS as a function, as you can see on the screen, might be required by somebody who's very mathematically oriented, looking at the data which requires a lot of mathematical interventions. But there are certain very basic things. For example, if you look at if, right, a lot of if related functions are there. There's a date if function, which says that date, rather, it's not date if, it's date diff. We'll use this in a while, right? We have something called as if, of course. If says, if this expression, then give the condition. Else if another expression, give the condition. For example, if profit is greater than 0, then profitable. Else if profit is equal to 0, then break even, and else losses. In fact, let's create this function over here. I think I intended to create a function like this. Let me call it, or rather, I intended to create a calculated field like this. So I'm creating something called as profitable using if. Okay, so I'll go for if, hit the tab button. The if function is activated. Till you complete your function, the message over here towards the bottom will come out to be it contains error because I haven't really completed it yet. But if I just keep on doing it, let's say profit, right? You need to select the exact variable over here. Okay, you cannot write profit, right? You cannot write profit and then keep on writing things over here, right? That won't work. What you need to do is to, once you start writing profit, you have to select the variable. You have to put an exact variable. It should not be text. It should be variable. If profit is greater than 0, this is the condition. This is the expression we are talking about over here, right? Then, again, then th, the moment I start writing it, that then appeared and I hit tab, right? Then I'll enter codes because whatever I enter in textual format has to be inside a code. I'll say that this is profitable, right? This is profitable. Then I'll go for else. Now, if I go for else, okay, if I go for else, this will end our scope for, putting in further condition, because it's like, if this happens, then this, else, if doesn't happen, this. So you're just giving binary conditions over here. For example, if I just say, if else, I don't have to give any condition over here. I can just say that, well, non-profitable, right? It's non-profitable. It's simple, right? And it's still showing me error because after every function you have to give a command to Tableau that this is the end of it. Now the error will not be there. Okay, now I can say that this is just a binary condition. If profit is greater than 0, then profitable, otherwise this. So if this happens, then this, otherwise this. It's a binary condition. If I click on OK, now I've created another variable over here, which is called as profitable. Now, as you can see, this is a calculated field, which is a of textual format because it's going to give only profitable or non-profitable. Okay, so I'll just go for, let's say if I go for this thing, profitable or non-profitable. And if let's say, how can we use this? We can take sales and we can, let's say, take, let me take something in location hierarchy. Let me go for city and let me go for sales. Right now, the moment I click it, city being a geospatial variable, something like map will show up over here. Okay. The moment I click on map, all the necessary arrangements will be made over here to create map. For example, country, state, and city goes into detail. Some of the cells automatically goes into size, right? Now there's one unknown over here. We can just ignore it at this point of time. Let's filter it out, okay? Or probably instead of filtering it out, we can, go for show data at the default position. Okay, that is also not working well for me. I just don't want anything in filters over here. So let's keep it as it is. There's just one unknown. We can, out of the 10,000 data points, we can ignore one at this point of time. Now I'll just go and hide this card because I don't need to see it over here so that I occupy more space. What I can do now is I can take this profitable, the variable that we have just created. In case we're not able to find it, we can always search it in the search bar. Take profitable and put it in colors. I'm a big fan of using colors in Tableau. Okay, I can just edit the colors over here. Non-profitable is red and profitable is, well, green. Right? Easy to respond to that, isn't it? So now we can see that the graph contains, let me zoom it a bit. The graph contains, it is giving me which of the following cities are profitable and which of the following cities are non-profitable. Now, as I think I just created a group. I'll just click outside. Apologies for that. Right. I think let's not use this. Cool. Right. So we can see green as the cities which are profitable. Now, there are many cities, right? And we can see some cities in the form of substantially bigger circles. We are looking at certain cities which are as good as dot because the size of that is driven by the sales. We can increase the size over here so that, the cities are slightly more visible in the chart. Okay. Now we can do this, right? Or let's not take it up to the city level. I'll drag out city. Now I'm taking it to only state level. That way we can easily see which are the states which are profitable, which are the states which are not profitable over here. Okay, right? This is how we can go ahead and do it. All right. So this is the advantage of creating calculated fields. You can have the the fields or the variables which you didn't have in your data, right? We can, from the already present fields, we can create further fields, something which is closer to called as feature engineering, that we can do it over here. Cool. So yeah, this is one thing. I think then we can go ahead and now I realize that, okay, whatever the city or the state has no profit at all, if it is zero, then I can say that then in that case, it won't be, counting it in any one of the states over here. What I need to do in that case is to, if I want to make changes to my calculated field profitable, I'll just click on this drop down, go to edit, and let's say that, okay, I want to probably change it, right? I want to go for 3 conditions now. Now, if I want to go for 3 conditions, now if and else will not work because if along with else works for binary conditions. I'll have to go for another function which is called as else if. Else if says that if this happens, it gives you multiple conditions. Condition 1, do this. Condition 2, do this. Condition 3, which goes into else, do this. Okay. For example, if I say elif profit, again profit, if it is equal to 0, then break even dash even. Fair enough, isn't it? And then I will not call it non-profitable. I'll call it loss-making because I went for non-profitable because I think 0 is also non-profitable and loss is also non-profitable. So I went for a slightly more usable term for the better word over there. Now I can be very easily saying that if it is not 0, if it's neither 0 nor greater than 0, is definitely less than 0, it's giving me losses, and hence it is loss making. I'll just click on this, and now we have 3 categories over here. You can always edit the colors and say that, okay, profitable is green, fine, break even is okay, loss making has to be red, break even can be probably, let's say, yellow. Okay, and if I assign it, the colors will change, and we can see that which of the following states are there which are profitable, which are loss making, and which one of them are break even. Okay, so this is one application of else if function.